Dear all, I would like to welcome you all in the lecture series of Preparation of Competitive Examination. In this session, I am going to discuss 10 important questions which are repeated for several examinations like SSC, KSCB, sub-engineer, and various type of examination. I will be discussing those important questions and the corresponding valuable points which you need to remember for the forthcoming examination. First of all, let me display the questions. You can mark the right answer in your answer book. Once I am going to verify, it will be helpful for you to have a better experience for writing the OMR type examination. Moving on to the display, please refer these questions. Let me scroll down. Question number 2, third question, question number 4, fifth question, sixth one, seventh, eighth, ninth, and 10th. If necessary, please pause this video and answer accordingly. Provided, don't take more than 60 seconds. However, let me directly move on to the discussion. Yes, let us have a discussion on the first question. Please read the question thoroughly. The number of discs in a string insulators for 400 kilovolt line in the range of. First of all, you need to understand the disc insulator. So the disc insulator depicts the voltage level. If you see the disc insulator, you can predict what is the voltage level of that particular line. That is the importance of disc insulator. There are different type insulators, pin type, disc type, etc. However, moving on to the question, the number of disc. So you need to calculate the number of disc. Fine. In a string insulators for 400 kV. String insulators that will be keeping in vertically, right? How many number of insulators are required for 400 kV line? Okay, so we have the voltage level as 400 kV divided by the voltage of that particular disc. As a thumb rule, for disc level insulator, you need one disc level insulator which is having the voltage level of 11 kV. Fine. So 400 divided by 11 kV. Remember one point. So whatever the 11 kV, that is in terms of phase voltage, V phase. Correct? What we require in terms of line voltage. So what you are supposed to do is 400 divided by this is the phase voltage. What is the relation between line voltage and phase voltage? You already know that line voltage is equal to root 3 times phase voltage. Hope you got my point. So to calculate the line voltage, what you are supposed to do? You have to multiply 11 into, okay, this is a phase voltage. So you need to convert it to line voltage. Okay. Fine. So simplify it. You will be getting around 21. Okay. And the number of insulators required is 21. So how about the answers? 21 is not available. No worries. It is in the range of 22 to 23. So which would you like to prefer? I would like to choose the answer C. So please make a note of this. Please refer the second question. The maximum demand, you need to calculate the maximum demand. Okay. The maximum demand of a customer is 2 kilowatts. No need to calculate. Please write down the given data. The maximum demand of a customer is 2 kilowatts and his daily energy consumption is 24 units. So daily energy consumption. So we will write kilowatt hour. Okay. Kilowatt hour. How many kilowatt hour? 24 kilowatt hour. Fine. 24 kilowatt hour. What is the duration? Day, right? Duration is day. So day means how many hours are there? There are 24 hours. 24 hours. His load factor. So load factor in power system is defined as load factor is nothing but average load, average load, average load divided by maximum demand. Maximum demand is directly given in the question, that is 2 kilowatts. So we need to calculate average load. So It is a daily average load we have to calculate. Why? Because they have given us day. We have to take the reference as day. So in a day, there are 24 hours. So average load is nothing but. So what is the total energy consumed? It is 24 units, right? 24 kilowatt hour. 24 kilowatt hour divided by total number of hours in a day is 24. 24 hour. Hour and hour get cancelled. Similarly, this becomes 1. So average load is 1 kilowatts. Note on this. Therefore, please substitute here. Average load is 1 kilowatts divided by maximum demand is 2. What is 1 by 2? 0.5. Better you express in terms of percentage. 0.5 into 100. What is the answer? 50%. So is there corresponding answer available in the option? Of course, go for option C. I would like to select option C. I think it's clear to everybody. Moving on to the third question, low head plants are generally used. So there are different type of plants, high head plant, low head plant, medium head plant. For low head plant, always remember that you need to use Kaplan type turbine. For high head plant, you need to use Pelton type turbine. For medium head, it is better to go for Francis turbine. This thumb rule you need to remember. Next one is thermal power plants works on which of the mechanical cycle? Thermal power plants works on dash mechanical cycle. Usually, thermal power plants are operating based on Rankine cycle. Kindly select option C. So let us discuss question number 5. A delayed action cartridge fuse is used for. A delayed action, remember. So if I talk about motor circuits, initially starting current will be around 5 times of that rated current. So high starting current produced. At that time, fuse should not be operated. If fuse is operated, the continuity of the operation will be delayed. So for that purpose, we should have one delay. So delay action cartridge fuse is mainly used in motor circuits. Certain delay, initially it won't melt. Understood, no? Moving on to the question number 6. If the span is increased, the sag, so everywhere you can see the sag between two end of the pole. If you talk about electric pole, there is a sag. So we have the two electric pole. Look at A and B are two electric pole. Usually we are keeping the transmission line between two electric pole. Oh, all right. The bending is known as sag. You can see a droop that is known as sag. There are different reasons why sag is maintained. So that we will discuss afterwards. Sag can be calculated by using the formula WL square divided by T. From this expression, sag is directly proportional to length square. If the span is increased, this is your span. Span is nothing but distance span. Okay. If the span is increased, what happens if the span is increased? Length will be automatically increased. If the span is increased, obviously the length will be increased. If the length is increased, obviously the sag is also getting increased. So I would like to choose option B. Why? Because sag is directly proportional to the length square. So the relation says that as the span increased, sag will also increased. Question number 7. Which of the material is used for controlling the chain reaction in the nuclear reactor? In order to control the chain reaction, we are using cadmium and boron in case of nuclear power plants. The purpose of thorium, it is a nuclear fuel. Uranium, thorium, plutonium. Heavy water is used as a coolant. Sometimes it is used as moderator as well. Moderator to control the chain, to control the speed of the neutron. We are using moderator. Beryllium. So beryllium also the same function. Beryllium. It will act as a moderator. Okay. So the right answer is boron. If cadmium is also there, you can select a cadmium also. Cadmium and boron is used as we can call it as a control rod. Base load power plants are. So there are two type of power plant, peak load power plant and base load power plant. The peak load power plants will be operated in a typical hours of a day, but base power plant will be operated throughout the day. That is the difference. So Especially if I talk about wind farms, then diesel power plant, that will be operating only during a certain peak period is required, peak demand to satisfy the peak demand. Every time it won't be operated. If I talk about the runoff river hydropower plant and nuclear power plant, it need to be operated throughout the day. So better choose Q and R. Option Q and R belong to base load power plant. So the right option is D. You can go for D. Okay, that is the difference between base load power plant and a peak load power plant. Usually, the operating cost of base load power plant is less compared to peak load power plant. Question number 9, I would like to discuss about question number 9. Please read out the question number 9. A three-phase four-wire system is commonly used for. See, there are two types of distribution, primary distribution and secondary distribution. In case of primary distribution, we can see three-phase, three-wire system. If I talk about the secondary distribution, it will be three-phase four-wire system. So therefore, I need to choose the option B. It is very important. Important question. Especially in the sub-engineer level, you can expect these kind of questions. Question, last question of this session. Which of the following power plants has least operating cost? Look at this. Diesel is very costly nowadays. If I talk about the coal, all the units are very costly in case of thermal power plant. Efficiency is also very least in case of thermal power plant. If I talk about the uranium, thorium, neptunium, that is very rarely available, and the availability, extraction, everything is too costly. But if I talk about the hydropower plant, water is the major raw material. So water is cheap actually. So therefore, we can choose option A. Option A, operating cost is very less in case of hydropower plant. So these are the 10 questions. If you have any queries, feel free to put up in the comment box. Feel put the comments into in the particular comment box. We are very happy to answer back. Thank you so much for watching this video. We are coming up with another video in the next session. So practice similar kind of questions. You have to perform very well in the examination. Thank you so much for watching this video. Good luck.